A girl in search of new sensations finds a very strange job for herself. Isabel and her family arrive at their country house for the summer holidays. She often wanders off to spend time alone. Her younger brother, Victor, secretly watches her through his binoculars. Victor approaches Isabel and tells her they should go home. Curious, he asks his sister about the boy she likes. Isabel admits that she wants to go on a date with him, but Victor doesn't like the idea. Later, Isabel's mother allows her daughter to invite Felix over, but Isabel refuses. That evening, Victor spies on his sister and notices how she clutches her pillow with unusual intensity. The next day, Isabel and Victor go to the beach together. Felix shows up, greets them and invites Isabel to a party that night. She happily agrees. When evening comes, Isabel asks her brother to help her sneak out of the house. At the party, she meets Felix and the two eventually end up at the beach. There, Isabel decides she is ready to become a woman, but the experience goes badly. Instead of pleasure, she feels only pain. The next morning, Isabel confides in Victor about what happened. Afterward, she tells him to leave her room and not to mention anything to their mother. The following day, Felix approaches Isabel again, but this time she avoids him. Soon, summer ends, and the family returns to the city. Isabel and Victor prepare to start their classes. One afternoon, Isabel checks into a hotel and meets an older man. She introduces herself under a different name and sits down on the bed. The man, noticing how young she looks, asks her age. Isabel insists that she is 20. An hour later, she collects her money and gets ready to leave. The man asks her to stay for the evening, but Isabel tells him she can only meet during the day. Back home, Isabel hides the money in her wallet, where several folded bills are already stashed. This is not the first time she has earned money in this way. She goes to her room, logs into a special website, looks through her photos, and prepares for more work the following day. After class, Isabel tells her mother she is going for a walk with a friend. Her mother asks if she has taken her jacket. Isabel, irritated by the question, snaps at her rudely before leaving for the hotel. There, a man greets her and again asks if she is 18. Isabel repeats that she is 20. They go to a room together, but the man turns out to be rough and dismissive. He pays her only €200. Isabel demands full payment, but the man threatens to expose her to her parents. Soon after, Isabel receives another client request. She asks him for $500 and meets him at the appointed place. The encounter goes smoothly, and afterward she asks him to give her a ride to the metro. Back home, she takes a shower, unaware that her stepfather notices how often she bathes and later mentions it to her mother, who dismisses it. The next day, Isabel goes to the theater with her family and unexpectedly spots the old man again. A few days later, she meets with him in a hotel room for work. His name is George. He pays her more generously than usual, but when he tries to ask her personal questions, Isabel refuses to answer and leaves. After that, Isabel begins to truly enjoy her work. This had always been her hidden goal, to learn to enjoy the process. A few weeks later, she meets George again. This time, he opens up about his family. He has a daughter with whom he is struggling to reconnect, and a wife, though he admits he is not a good husband. He pours Isabel champagne and gives her some pills. But George does not know this will be his last day. His heart suddenly fails. Isabel tries to save him, but cannot. She panics, slips in the bathroom and injures her forehead. Shaken, she gathers the money and leaves the hotel without telling her mother anything. Days later, the police visit her family. They reveal George's death and accuse Isabel of illegal activity. However, they say she will not be charged. They question her about what happened and search the house, discovering her hidden stash of money. Isabel returns home. Her mother tells her she now knows everything. Furious at first, she scolds her daughter, but Isabel bursts into tears. Moved, her mother softens, hugs her, and says things will be all right. Unbeknownst to them, Victor has been listening to the entire conversation from the hallway. That evening, Isabel's stepfather tells his wife that their daughter has done nothing wrong. The mother doesn't understand why he is defending Isabel. The next day, Isabel is questioned at the police station. She tells the officers that George was kind to her, that he had done nothing wrong, and that she believes he died because of the pills. She insists it was only an experience. She even asks if she will get her money back. The officers explain that the money will be returned to her mother. At home, Isabel begs her mother to return the money, but the woman refuses. She wants to donate it to a shelter and suggests Isabel see a psychologist. Furious, Isabel storms out. That evening, Isabel visits her aunt where she works part-time as a nanny. When her uncle offers to drive her home, his wife stops him, saying she doesn't trust Isabel. Back home, Isabel sits beside her stepfather and begins flirting with him. To her surprise, he reciprocates. Isabel's mother walks in, horrified, and sends her daughter to her room. Distraught, she considers sending Isabel to a boarding house. The next day, Isabel tells her psychologist that she liked George and feels guilty about his death. Later at school, she talks with a friend who confesses she spent the night with a boy but felt nothing. Isabel comforts her, explaining that the first time is often disappointing. That evening, the two go to a party where Isabel meets a boy named Alex. He is kind, and Isabel is drawn to him immediately. Alex asks if he can kiss her, and she allows it. They begin seeing each other daily. He soon invites her to his house, but Isabel refuses, saying she won't do that on a first date. A month later, Alex moves in with Isabel's family. Every morning, they exercise together. Isabel's parents like Alex and accept him, but Isabel dislikes how close he becomes with them. Eventually, when Alex suggests a walk, Isabel coldly tells him they should break up. She doesn't love him. Heartbroken, Alex leaves. Alone, Isabel finds her old SIM card and rereads messages from former clients. One catches her attention. She goes to the hotel where she once met George. There, she encounters George's widow. The woman calmly asks to speak with her. She explains that she loved her husband and does not blame him for his infidelity. She only wanted to see the girl who was with him before his death. She confides that she too was 20 when she first met George. She invites Isabel to a hotel room, gives her €300 and tells her to lie on the bed without removing her clothes. The woman reassures Isabel that she is not to blame. George had heart problems. Isabel eventually drifts off to sleep. When she wakes, she realizes she no longer feels guilty. And this is where the film ends.